right? People assume that wedding is what happens. You get engaged and then you get married, and some people mix metaphors with marriage and the wedding, right? It's almost like, did it really happen unless you have a ceremony? In terms of our social
our society.
And I think from a woman's perspective, right, like a lot of us have almost been groomed to an extent to be dreaming about that day, right? Like Prince Charming, all the Disney movies, you know, all of the other cartoons that we grew up with. You know, my favorites like Brandy, Cinderella. Like you're like, oh my gosh, like this beautiful ceremony. That wasn't even their wedding, right? That was just a ball. You want to wear the dress. You want to have everyone stare at you, you know. So with those expectations, I mean, I would say like one of the pros of a wedding is being able to gather with your loved ones, right?
Absolutely.
And celebrate that moment of your union together.
And I'm glad you're speaking about this from a woman's perspective. Do you feel like most women would probably want to go with having the wedding? Like, what are just your thoughts, or even just in terms of the women that you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's most of the women that I know have truly valued some type of ceremony. And I think that in some relationships, this is like the let me wave my ring high for people type of moment. You know, like I want to make sure people know that this is a thing and that we're together and that we're in it. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, let me ask you this. Do you feel like some women who don't get to have that experience, do you feel like it maybe causes some kind of almost like regret?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think there's just a certain maybe like resentment or lack of maybe understanding in terms of why they weren't able to have those moments. But again, I believe that that's mostly if women were unable to have some type of like validating celebration period. So I'm not saying that it has to be the big extravagant wedding, but I know we know, you know, friends and acquaintances and people that maybe just it was just the time they got married, but then life kept happening, you know, and there was never any like pause ceremony type moment. And it feels like you kind of get swept into the marriage, if you will.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed checking out that clip from our podcast. If you want to check out the full episode, then click the video right over there. If you want to check out one of our other videos, then click right down there.
If you want to join the community, hit that subscribe button right below. Thank you all so much for tuning in.